tonight, Minister Garden, and we are here with your Thursday night Hot Topic Live. It's going to be informative, powerful, hilarious, something to think about, talk about, and meditate on. Yes, tonight you just need to call up your friends, get your popcorn, get your drink, get your tea, get whatever you need to get, sit back, relax as we discuss something profound. Tonight is just one of those nights when we are going to get deep into our children and parenting and all that. Just in a little while, we'll have our other two panel joining us, and that is the Johnsons, Dr. Lauren Henry Johnson and Reverend Bishop Johnson. They're coming on tonight, and we are going to look deep into parenting, children, and the relationship and what works have to do with parenting. So call up your friends and everyone, let them know that we are on tonight and they need to get involved in this um, discussion that we're about to have tonight. Remember, the view discussed tonight is that of our own. Some people may be offended, some may be hurt, some may be glad. Yes, but just know that we express our view with our passion, through our passion, and we want to see how much result we can get question answered. Be free to be a part of this tonight. Ask your question. Let us talk about raising our children. Are we doing it the right way? Are we treating them the right way? And all of these other things. So before I go any further tonight, yes, you have not heard her in a while on a Thursday night. Yes, she's all looking dandy and shandy. Yes, and that is Althea Gordon. Yes, tonight she's coming to greet you up on the ones and twos. Yes, yes, I think it's the first you've seen her on Thursday night since last year. Yes, fresh off the press. Yes, over to you.
Well, well, well. Good night, good night. Happy New Year to all the Thursday night Hot Topic Live audience out there in cyber world. God bless you. Thank you for joining us as always. Yes, it has been a very long time. For some reason, the sometime in November going into December, the only Thursday evening that I actually had off was, I think, was Christmas Eve, somewhere there. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, there were so many evening shift and I missed it all. But I was listening in. You know, when I'm not here, I do my best to listen in, and it's always great being here with you. And once again, thank you for joining us. And yes, we'll be talking about parenting children, how we treat our children, how are we raising our children? Are we doing it the right way? Are there some ways that can be corrected? I know personally for me, I am still learning because I did not get a manual. So every stage of their life, it's like something that is new to me, right? So there might be things that I might not be doing 100% the right way. There might be things that you're not doing 100% the right way. Will you share tonight? Do you have some parenting tips that you would like to share? You know, maybe what works for you might not work for everyone, but if it can work for one, then hey, why not give it a try? Why not give it a try? You know, maybe your parenting skills they're just on point, right? And I would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you. So once again, welcome to our Thursday night Hot Topic Live. And yeah, just be interactive. Blessings.
Yes, yes, and we must apologize for the late start. You don't know that's me already, but some things you just can't get away from. We have pastors and leadership meeting tonight, this evening from 5:30, and we just got back in the house to get started. I can't find my help. I think it's done by the shop. But anyway, I think I'm seeing a bit clearer now than I used to, trust me, because I can read Sister Pamela Grant saying clearly, saying, "Good evening, everyone. Yes, yes, pressing through, have, have,
sir, why are you doing that to yourself on this Holy Thursday?
Oh man, trust me, one time I couldn't go so far.
I applaud you for the
Yeah.
effort then.
Have a meeting. Yes, see there? Yes, have a meeting is the L at the end of the G that showed me up. You see what I'm saying? So yes, one time I couldn't do that. Seriously. Yes,
I know
yes,
why you're getting better at it.
yes, yes. And she said, children,
You're living without
yes.
it. Your eyes are getting used to being without your help, sir.
Boy, I tell you, I tell you, I tell you, I tell you, you know. But we do apologize for being late. And as I said, the Johnsons are going to be here with us tonight, Dr. L'Oreal Johnson and Bishop Reverend Philbert Johnson. And they are two qualified. We are all qualified people because we are parents ourselves. It's to the levels. But right now we have DJ CC on the ones and twos. DJ CC is going to spin a tune. It's to the levels. Yes, DJ CC. Like on the tune.
Yes, and this is not just like any tune. For those of you who are new to our Thursday night Hot Topic Live, it is our anthem. Yes, it is. It is our theme song for Thursday night. And after it is sung, Pastor Redeem, he will explain why this is our theme song. Minutes of the day to from the bottom of this pit, but my aim was misstrung by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help us sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever have. Redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No matter ourselves can free our mind. I've no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. Allah shall kill our prophets while we stand aside. Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the whole. Won't you dance to sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever had. Redemption song, redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourselves can free our mind. Whoa, I've no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop up the time. Allah shall kill our prophets while we stand aside and look. Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you guys sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever Songs of freedom. Songs of freedom.
Yes, yes, and that is our theme song for Thursday night at Topic Live, and nothing wrong with it because it's reality. 99.9999% of the problem we have in the world today is because people are under mental slavery. They enslave themselves mentally. They are not willing to, they are not teachable. They are not willing to look at the other side, to learn something else, or to free themselves. They just lock themselves into one way. And, you know, some of Mamitana, some of Pupatana, some of Reason, some of this, and all of this. The challenges we have, it's mental. Yeah, we are free, but we're still bound mentally. We refuse to stretch beyond the limit, past our comfort zone. You see what I'm saying? So even with parenting, some people say, I saw their mother raise them, or their father raised them, and I saw them raise them, hit me too. Mental slavery. You see what I'm saying? And it is profound. The next part of the song that caused it fit to be our theme song, how long shall they kill our prophets while we stand and look? You see what I'm saying? How long we see people stand up for justice, for our cause, and they kill them, they wipe them out, they take them out, and we just stand aside, and it's just another book, it's just another story. We do nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? One of those persons who freed some slaves back in those times said he could have freed many more, but in their mind, they were still slaves. They didn't see freedom, the door to freedom, as an opportunity. You see the levels. So that's why it is our theme song tonight for Thursday night at Topic Live, where we discuss issues, problems, situations, circumstances that need to be talked about, right? And with that said, we have the beautiful Dr. Lauren Henry Johnson with us tonight. Let me rewind and come again. We have the beautiful Dr. Lauren Henry Johnson with us, who is the wife of Bishop Philbert Johnson, and she's sitting in tonight until he gets there. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to ask her to greet you up and to give her opening remarks. And before you do so, Minister Garden will walk you through the steps of what we're going to be talking about tonight as well. I mean, she nicely put this together last week, and I love the way she did it. The points that she hit, they are necessary and important for us to talk about them.
All right, all right. Happy New Year, Dr. Johnson. God bless you. Good to see you.
Oh, yes, it's the first since last year. She's on with us too.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Yeah, so tonight is actually part two. Last week, Pastor, he did basically an introduction of parenting and children. So we're taking a closer look at it tonight. And the question, like, are children treated in the way that they should be? Right? Are we doing them justice? Are we doing that, right? Or are they caught between parenting drama? And parenting drama could be, on different levels. It could be two parents at home. One might spoil the children rotten. One might be the disciplinarian, right? It could be parents are separated. It could be divorce issue. It could be different drama that, encapsulate what children go through. So we would like to know, are they treated fairly? Are they caught between the drama? Are they used to spite the other party? Because we know that these things happen. So that's, what we're going through tonight.
Awesome. I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone too, and thank you for those warm welcome and blessings as well. They are always well needed, especially when we have children. It's good to have them pronounced. And children are definitely a gift. They are beautifully and wonderfully made. and they are special. And indeed, parenting is also an opportunity that is a gift. But indeed, both being a child as well as being a parent can be challenging. And so, really and truly, there are times when children may be used, definitely, awesome discussion. And I want to say that also, remember, there's no great parenting manual. So sometimes children can be caught in parenting drama. Well, I must say that now I'm an experienced parent of over 16 years. I will say that with time, parents can improve, no matter what the situation, whether you're a married parent like myself, still in a happy marriage, or whether you've had some challenges where you have to be separated, and in some cases, divorced. Definitely, the longer that we're parents, once we are willing to learn, once we realize that we want to help contribute to the best individuals in this world, we will improve. Okay, and I think that parents need to forgive themselves, because after all, none of us are perfect and we make mistakes. We all have different personalities. Usually, parents have some similarities, but in terms of how persons discipline, learning to discipline comes from our background. Some of it is taught. Some of it is also in terms of how our personality believes, well, the mistakes my parent makes, I don't plan to make them. And some persons just never even have a chance to realize they don't want to not make mistakes that they see made. And they just basically become like their environment in different ways, whoever was their guardian or parent. So let's be honest, parents. There are times when we have all made mistakes. And there are times, therefore, that our children suffer. But there are also times, too, that we have opportunities to reflect, like I'm sure you did last week, and we're going to again this evening. And after much reflection, we should have made some choices in terms of how we can improve and be the best parents, no matter what our circumstances are. Thank you so much for inviting me this evening, and I look forward to a wonderful learning experience.
Yes. So good to have you. I didn't even realize it's the first we've seen you on Thursday night at Topic Live since last year. This family look forward to see you and your husband anytime they hear you coming to Thursday night at Topic Live, because they know that the information that is going to be given is trusted and should be taken. Last week we didn't go in depth, but we just scratched some surface on all 3 or 4 areas. Our children been treated the right way. Last week we touched on it, yes and no. Some parents take it above and beyond. Like I went to pick up Isaac from school, and while waiting on him, a teenage girl just about between 12, 13 was there to pick up our little sister, now waiting on her father. I heard when she called the father on the phone, and like you tell her, he's around the corner coming, because she come off the phone with an attitude. Him around the corner so long and can't come, right? Things like that, whatever. But all I know that when he came, took the little baby girl from her, and about to go in the car, I saw when he opened his hand and boxed her across her face, blow, yeah? And then when he boxed her with the other little baby in her hand, he choked her and pushed her up against the fence, right? And everybody stand up watching this. So I went over there. The truth is, we never really go over there in the name of Jesus. I went over there, hoping that when I tell him to let her go, he would want to slap me, so I could slap him back and choke him on the fence. Just, and some people are like, yeah, when we talk like this, but it's just the truth, right? But he was so shocked and humble when I went over there. I hold his hand and tell him, take him on off of the child, look at the child. Yeah. When he let her go, her response is, let me call my mother, and she got up on her phone. So right there you can see that this child caught between parenting drama, right? And even though she's caught between parenting drama, we parents must have control, because the way it treated her, she will now grow with that stigma, thinking this is how a man must treat me if a man love me, because if daddy does this to me, it's okay for any other man to do it. So we look at it and we decided that both sides of the fence, and their parents who are doing it right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, their parents, they're not perfect, but they're doing it right. Yeah, they are scratching the surface, learning as they're going along. And I have two prime examples here before me. I know you with your children, Dr. Johnson. I know Althea with her children. You see what I'm saying? And I myself, boy, I tell you, yesterday I looked myself in the glass and I said, Journal, you're doing good. Yeah, it's the first I am in any of my children's life so long with both parents. Very first, right? And to pick up Isaac from school and come home with him and sit with, let him go to bed and then wait for mommy to come in and then take over, all of these sort of things. It's just a great feeling. It's a tremendous feeling. See what I'm saying? I look forward to this more than ever. In fact, his grandmother should be picking him up. And I decided I am here and I'm not going to miss the opportunity, right? I believe that though Rochelle is a first-time mother, right? I believe that there's a balance in his life, because if I reprimand him, she don't jump in, and if she reprimand him, I don't jump in. If we disagree with it, we wait until he's asleep, or wait until he's not around, then we look at it. And I feel great at that, because I've never had that with any of my children before, right? So parents like us who are new to this and trying this, who are teachable as we go along, we can learn from our parents, because our children, because Isaac taught me a lot. I never had mommy and daddy before. So sometimes when he come to me and say, Daddy, mommy, we say, you must tell daddy what you do first. Because then we trick we. And then he got to mommy and say, Mommy, daddy. And she said, Isaac, what you did first. So he realized in Canada, been a year with that these days. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, parents like us, we learn from our children. So for that we say both ways, and we have to dig deeper in it, right? Are they been used as a spike? I can testify about that more than anybody. I can talk for actually every man who end up in a broken family life with their children, right? Yes, they have been, and all of these things. I have a text here that we want to go ahead.
No, the way you said you can talk for every man who end up with in a broken, relationship with their children and stuff like that. You know what? I'm sorry for interrupting you, but
Sorry.
let's kind of narrow that down a little bit, because go ahead.
When I say I can't talk for every man, I mean on both sides. Because there are times I feel like just spite the pitney because of the mother. I'm being honest. I felt it. I never done it, but I felt it, because sometimes believe me, like last week, I called my children their mother for the beginning of the year. I called them, and I tell them thanks for the job that they are doing in the life of my children, because they are doing a great job. It's not every man can do it. Right? So when I say that, Minister Gardner, I mean on both sides of the fence. Yeah, because there are times I feel like I want to be workless. There are times I feel like I want to tell the child that their mother is no good and they should have a better mother, and all of these sort of things. And I know that there are men out there doing it. So that is why I said what I said, because I know some of your mother bearing some name that you should not be bearing. Because I'm afraid for fess up and stop up, and because you lock shop on him, You decide to lock everything else on the child. But you can continue, Minister Garden. Still go ahead.
Yes, no, what I was saying, there are those of us, and I say us, who it doesn't matter what causes the breakdown of a relationship, we don't use the children as spite. And I said that knowing that maybe the majority of people do that. I'm not ignorant of that. But it takes a level of maturity and a lot of thought about the children to know that, it's already such a great impact to have a broken home and how that must hurt children, right? And then to add to it by using them as weapon against each other, that's really not good. So it takes a level of maturity for on both parents' part to say, you know what, it doesn't matter what happened with us, they should not suffer. They should not be caught between this. They should not ever feel like it's their fault. They should not be used to say, okay, well, you didn't give me anything for support, you're not going to see them. They should not be caught up in that drama, because really they shouldn't be. Children do hurt. These things, it's a great impact, is a great scar on their life. They deal with it in school, they deal with it like everywhere they go, they deal with it. And one of the things that you said about in discipline, in Isaac, both of you guys are on the same page, right? It is so very important that it doesn't matter if someone is living together or they're separated. When it comes to disciplining, when it comes to teaching, you should be on the same page for your children's sake. Because you know what? If let's say, for example, I have two daughters, if one of them should, even let's say the child do something that is wrong, right? I'm not going to say it's okay for you to do it because of your father this that. I'm going to say no, that's wrong, right? What I teach my children, even though we're not living under the same roof, the Bible say, and that's the foundation. The Bible say that you should honor your father and your mother. It does not matter what happened. Find a way to talk about it. Find a way to deal with it. It's not everything that the next party do you're gonna agree with. It's not everything that I do you're gonna agree with. But at the end of the day, there's a fine line drawn that cannot be crossed when it comes to honoring your parents, whether they're living under the same roof or not. And it starts even when parents are living together, right? Because if one person is going to say, no, you're not supposed to do it that way, and then the next person is going to say, no, it's okay, you can go ahead and do it. And there's constant tug and war between how to get things done. It shows that there's no agreement there, right? And then the child is going to gravitate to the person who they can basically wrap around their finger. It does not necessarily mean that that teaching is the right teaching. And then that's how society end up with a lot of problematic children, even from a young age. In different, the spectrum is so broad, right? There are children who end up with mental issues. There are children who end up want to commit suicide. There are children who end up, living some wayward kind of life. A lot of things can stem from a broken home, from the way parents treat each other in front of children, from the way the family life is from birth until.
That is so right before Dr. Johnson come in, because I am always conscious. I am always conscious because especially at Isaac age, most vulnerable age, learn everything, sucking in everything, observing everything. I am cautious with what I do when it comes to his mother. Yeah. And the reason for that is not so much so I am afraid of Rochelle. I have to be careful of what I input in him at this stage. So find that now if I'm going to tell him I love him, daddy and mommy love you. Yeah? Because It can easily mislead if I just said, Daddy love you. It can easily mislead. And a lot of parents don't look at these things. You see, I never had the opportunity to raise any of the other 9 this far with both of us as parents. So one of my greatest assets, I pray and ask God for the wisdom. I literally, and I don't just ask him one time and stop. Because as they evolve, you need wisdom to deal with them. Yeah? There was a time I would have slapped him. I would have slapped him for certain things. No, I talk to him because I'm at a better level where he can understand and all of these sort of things, right? So I'm very careful. So when I'm saying, Isaac, Daddy love you. Daddy, Mommy coming right after it. Daddy and Mommy love you. If I get him something on the road when I come in, this from Mommy and Daddy. Mommy might not give me a 10 cent towards it, but she gave her support. Her support is counted, right? And one of the things we said, Dr. Johnson, you can tell me, you can weigh in more on this one, right? Last week we were saying to them that the beating method and all of this, because of the laws and stuff there right now, you have to be very careful. But one of the things you can do is to a level of punishment, but you have to be careful with the punishment. And I gave an example. For instance, if Rochelle and Isaac have their bonding moments, and their bonding moment is to walk around the community block, and he's looking more forward for Mommy to take that walk with him, and he done something wrong to me, Mommy not there, and I am going to say to him, you are not going walking with your mother. It's unfair to the mother, because she's also looking forward to our bonding time with him. Yeah, she has nothing to do with what he did. So if I am going to punish him, I have to punish him on a mutual ground or with something on my side of the fence. Yeah, every Sunday I take him to a particular place that he loves. So if I'm going to punish him, it is within my right to say to him, you are not going this Sunday. So parents normally want to even step each other boundary where punishment is concerned, and it causes a rift between parents and a rift between children. I believe the punishment must be within perspective. Yeah, because Mommy and Daddy bonding time with child has nothing to do. Minister Garden said the perfect thing. The child is something, and you're going to tell the child they're not going to see their father for the weekend. The father has nothing to do about it. He made plans, and then now he had to be there, and then he get angry at you, right? Mommy did nothing, but you're going to tell the child she's not going, or you're not going to see Mommy for the time to spend together. It is wrong. We have to be careful. We have to punish them within boundary. So Dr. Johnson, probably you can weigh in some more on this and other stuff as we get this going. And we see some people really into this with us tonight.
Definitely. I am in total agreement. Another thing too, with what you said, Brother Jonah, why also I'm in total agreement, and even educators would agree with you, counselors, is that Rochelle, that's Isaac's mom, is not even there at the time. You know, so you can make a decision that involves her. Yes, as a married couple, both of you are one, but you also need to communicate before to decide in terms of if you're going to take away something that is within her right, in other words, and also something that Isaac is looking forward to with her. So I'm in total agreement with that. And another thing in terms of punishment that I want to bring in as a medical doctor, it can't be the normal meals either that you're going to take away from the child. Because I'll be honest with you, sometimes as parents, when parents get mad, they themselves lose it. And you know, to take away the meal that's nourishing the child. You understand? And even that father, as you say, in public, to shame the child in public. We as parents need to admit if we've ever done anything like that, or we were even agreeing with that father, we need to stop it. You understand? Yes, some parents will say, well, it's my child and I bring them here and I can take them out. No, we don't even have that right according to even the Bible. You understand? Yes, God help us to bring them here, you know, But we have to be careful because some parents, even in anger, in disciplining children, have actually taken out, you understand, their children. And trust me, not only are they in trouble with the law, but right now, I'm sure many of those parents, or all of them, I should say, are going to agree that if they had the chance to do it over again, they should have done something to walk away, get rid of that anger. Because to be honest, even in this time too with COVID, we have even more things to make us stress, to make us as parents stress, and even the children have more things to make them stress. So you find that we need to continue discipline, but we need to also realize sometimes, even when we're sticking for certain principles, that we need to make sure we're not disciplining in anger. So I want to bring that in. It's very important not to take away things like the normal basic needs of the child. Shelter is a basic need. Yes. Food, a basic need, care, because we have to make sure that we understand it's so important to care about the confidence of our children. Yes, they must know that they must honor their parents, as was said earlier by Sister Althea. Minister is correct. Honor, they must have respect. But just like you said, Evangelist Journal, oh boy, my dear brother, you are so correct. It's very important to be careful in terms of what we do. So you have been on the right track, and I want to support that 100%. And I want to remind us to be careful about the basic needs of a child. Those should not be removed. And punishment will actually work better for some children than negative reinforcement with a slap, and then where to slap. Very important, Thank God he made the bottom for slapping. We have to be very careful. The face, head, no. Careful with the limbs, the neck. We need to be careful, and, we need to be very careful what we also apply on the children as well, because there's a thin line between discipline and abuse, also neglect. Okay, so we need to be very careful and use the correct areas and be very careful in terms of what we're using. Okay, and then sometimes some of the children, they are not necessarily going to change because the slap may be too soft. So that's when, for real, we need to consider other methods that work. Sometimes they're getting too much entertainment, like in terms of their telephone. Boy, I know, as I say that I have one child, well, she doesn't like that at all. Okay, so she has to work in order to keep that phone to entertain herself. And even if she says in terms of information or whatever, there's certain things that we can use in terms of punishment that would help in terms of discipline, and we need to be reasonable. And Brother Journal, Minister, another thing I want to say that I've admired that has been said tonight. Sometimes we disagree as parents. It is wiser, it is better to be on one accord and make sure we wait till an appropriate time, not interfering with the other parent, and then discuss where we may not agree so that the children don't see us in conflict, Well, I know Pastor Johnson isn't here, but my husband has always said that's one thing he learned from the elderly, and it's one of the things I'm going to admit to you that I had to learn. Yes, you go to med school and you learn, yes, having control. But when you're different people, you may see things differently. It is not necessarily to jump in and show the children that you disagree at the point. So I want to reinforce that, and I want to say this is a good program. Keep up the good works.
Yeah, it's a learning process for me, and I'm head over heels about it. Trust me. I reached the stage where when I pick up Isaac, I know the best bet for him to drop him by his grandmother. But if he says to me that I want to go home, I altered my day and I come home. Yeah. Because one of the things we our parents went wrong, that there wasn't too listening to us. We never have a say in nothing, right? It's always what they say, and they forget that children have a mind of their own, right? I learned this from Reverend Johnson. I learned this from Reverend Johnson when you remember when your children used to go up to football, right? And I start going up there and Isaac watching them playing. And I remember one day Reverend Johnson said something to me, and I'll never forget it. Reverend Johnson said, you see them 3 boys, them 2 boys, and them 2 girls I have, 4 different personalities. And it's a thin line between thinking that they are rude than to detect a strong trait inside of them, right? When they speak out, they might not come across to us smooth, but the fact that they would speak out on a thing, it's a good sign. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, it's time to listen to them. Trust me, if I could have gone back 24 years, Kitanya would have get away with a lot. Trust me. Should I get away with a lot? Because I never see it as that. And it helped me now I know it, because Isaac is at a stage where if you said to him, Isaac, it's time to turn off the television and go to your room, he's going to come tap you on your shoulder and say, Daddy, let me tell you something. Listen to me here. It's not right to turn off the TV when you see I'm watching it. He always have a reasoning. He always, and if Reverend Johnson never told me that, I would have run him to him bed. He always have a reason. He will listen to me and Rochelle talk, and he will come to me and say, Daddy, don't talk to mommy like that. And you go, Mommy, let me tell you something. Don't talk to Daddy like that. Now, every time it happens, I hear Pastor Johnson on my head. It's a good trait. Sometimes more running, I tell you the truth. And sometimes he reaches some point where make you feel bad too, you know. like I pass him and him eating something, and I just took out, and he come and he touch me. Daddy, you shouldn't do it like that. It's not yours. You must ask, okay? Seriously, no, the little 3-year-old boy. Last night we were eating some chips, and his mom is sending him with some for me. And I took the plate in one hand, and as I'm about to go in with another one, the man hold my other hand up in the air and hold it up. And he said, no, Daddy, you can't go in there like that. Wash your hand first. Now, believe me, I believe the Lord had Pastor Johnson stopped me in my track by giving me such a word of wisdom. Because that's what working in my favor now. I cannot tolerate him and thinking he can wear me out. I listened to all his reasoning. I said to him, Isaac, let you and Daddy make an agreement with the television. I said, let me and you make an agreement, because I was about to tell him. Yeah, I said, let me and you make a deal where the television is concerned, because I was going to say to him, say, after you're coming from school, get some sleep, you get up, watch your television, and you go to bed at 8. Right? So that's the deal I wanted to make with him. When I say, Isaac, let you and I make a deal, Isaac said, no, Daddy, no. And him are doing finger like this. Deal is for government. A little 3-year-old tell me that. A band leader that. So I respect the fact that Pastor Johnson could impart some parenting wisdom for me right there. And it is helping me today. Right? He's going to school now. And Rochelle was the one who in charge of all the school and all of them stuff there. She go and she did everything. She get everything done and all of that. At one point, I wanted to feel like, oh, because they say she don't give me a chance to say, boy, when me I go buy her, when me I go this. But me say, you know what, Journal? Me thank God that she's in the position to deal with things and all of these things. We just have to be careful. We just have to be careful. So, Minister Garden, on the ones and twos. Because I see the chat.
Sorry, my internet is a little bit. Yeah, my internet is a little bit unstable. Yes, but I just wanted to just say something quickly before we move on to the chat. As everyone was talking, something just came back to mind. I remember when Hannah Marie was a baby, and you know when they're a little bit and you're teaching them how to pray and stuff like that. Every time she prayed, then I'll close off by saying, as and I know Pastor Journal would say that, oh, you're always supposed to put daddy first, but I'm just telling you the way how I used to say it. I used to say, mommy loved the baby, daddy loved the baby, but Jesus loved the baby best. And the way I said it had no way of diminishing the love. Absolutely no way. The point that I'm trying to bring out was when we got separated, Anika was about a month and a half. She was like an infant, like newborn baby. I didn't say because he's not there, I'm not going to say that with her. I didn't say that. The same thing that I would have done with Hannah Marie, even with him not being there under the same roof. Whenever, I taught her how to pray, I would end by saying, mommy loved the baby, daddy loved the baby, but Jesus loved the baby best. Both of my children. And I would say people shouldn't be at the point where they're so angry or where they're so bitter that our children, because at the end of the day, it's our children. They are our children, and we should always want the best, the very best for our children. That being said, just to welcome each and every one again to our Thursday night Hot Topic Live, we're talking about parenting. Are we treating our children fairly? Are we using them to spite, the other party? Are they caught up in our drama? We need to know. So, just to quickly whip through here, we have Sister Alicia Beaton, Sister Aneta Paris, Sister Anika George, Sister Pamela Grant. Yes, we have them here with us tonight. Sister Angela Newbold. Joy, my sister Joy is here. Sister Judith is here. My mommy is here. Manella Eddy, she's here. Minister Phillips is here. They're all saying good night to all of us and also to the audience. Minister Phillips said, so true. Children goes through their own level of trauma, and they really, really do. When it comes to what I know I can say as far as my children are concerned, and I don't, when I think about it, I go, okay, should I blame the system or should I just say, well, they have to do what they have to do? It's just that they're somehow caught up. There are times when they have classes, and in class it talks about the family, right? And they would tell them to make a family tree. And they would say, take a picture of those who are in your household, right? And you're gonna bring that in, and and I understand that shows the different type of family setting that everyone experience, right? But while doing that, children who are not living with mommy and daddy, it hurts them. It hurts them, because I remember my children, they talk to me about that mommy, when they're doing their family tree, when I see other people have mommy and daddy in the family, that they're living together, and whoever is the extended family, whoever else is living there, we feel bad. We know that he's there. We know that he'll come, he'll see us, he'll pick us up from school, he'll do this and he'll do that. But when they want to know who you're living with in your household, we just feel bad because we wish things were different. We wish things were different, right? And you cannot prevent them from feeling that way. And it's okay for them to talk about it. It's okay for them to express the way they feel. The sad thing is, when people are bitter, they don't want to hear those expressions. They don't want to hear how separation hurt the children, because as far as they're concerned, well, good riddance. I get her out of my life. I got him out of my life. They don't want, but their feelings are very, very real. And we have to be at a place where we can put us aside. I, as the individual, the father is the individual, and hear them. and see how that affect them. We know, okay, well, it's not going to change. They're not going to get what they want in that area because, you have to go on with your life. But they have real emotion. They have real feeling. The days of children should be seen and not heard. They are over, and they have been over a very, very long time ago. And children, there's a fine line between disrespect and being heard, right? I always teach my children, be confident, but there is a difference between confidence and arrogance. There is a fine line. It's okay for you to speak about, express yourself, say how you feel. But by saying how you feel, you have to know how to express that in a very respectful way. I might say something that you don't like. I might even do something that you don't like. But you have to remember that this is mother. You can tell mother how this affects you, how you feel about that. But you have to know how to communicate that in a very respectful way. That is father. And though father is not under the same roof, if father do or say something that you don't like, you have to know how to communicate that in a very respectful way. Because if you do or say anything that is disrespectful, I will not agree. My mom is here, right? My mom is grandma, she's guardian. Well, guess what? Nana is the boss. Whatever Nana say, that goes. So if Nana say no, don't come to me and expect to hear yes. And they have known that from a very young age. Because guess what? My mom and I were going to be on the same page. If she say no, it must be for a reason. So don't think she's going to say no, because if she say no and you come to me and I say yes, I'm basically telling you don't listen to what she has to say. Right? So we as parents, we have to be so careful, because children these days, they're smart. I mean, my younger, she's now 11. When I was 11, I had absolutely no sense. I still think that children fly from, fall out the sky, or doctor deliver them in suitcase and stuff like that. I still think that people actually went through the radio to be on the radio. I didn't have no sense. But these children, they are so smart. Pastor Redeem, don't laugh at me, because you used to think that too. You just don't want to admit it, okay? I still thought that people just put a long ladder up to the sky and that's how they go to heaven. They climb the ladder and they go up. Children today, they are smarter than we think. They're smart and they have so much stored up inside that sometimes they just want to talk. They just want to let it out. They just want to let it out. And when they don't have an outlet, then they react in several different ways. Right? So you could tap into that after. I'm just going to look at a couple more comments, and then everything could be tied in together as well. Right? Minister Phillips said someone must be the mature parents. That's very true. Sister Lisa Beaton is here, and she's saying, I truly believe that parents need to start asking their child or children how they feel about the situation at the time. So we'll hold on to that as well, and then you can comment. And stop thinking because they are children that they don't have anything to say. They always have an input. Minister Phillips said, I didn't realize my children was greatly impacted behind my divorce, especially my son. This is real. We have Sister Marcia here. Sister Lisa is also saying, as a mother, I really don't believe in spanking a child, but I believe in punishment. So there are a few things that's out there that they can be addressed. So I'll stop there for now so that the others can be addressed. So you could go ahead.
One other thing we want to ask Dr. Johnson is the first point in tonight's topic. Are we treating the children the way they should be treated? Can you enlighten us on some better ways we can treat our children? Because I know frustration causes a lot of parents to neglect a lot of things where children are concerned. For me, who most of my children is in another country, is back home, I make it a point of my duty that on the phone, especially my big daughter now, she's at a point now where when I hear she start to ask me, Daddy, when are you coming? I know something is going on, right? What are some of the ways we can treat our children better? And what are some of the indications when we are not treating our children the way they ought to be treated? As Sister Altia just says, sometimes we don't think that they have a say, so we don't ask them how they feel, right? So I just want to ask you, what are some of the ways we can know if we're treating them the way they should be treated or not?
Okay, Brother Journal, I know you have a theme song, but this song just comes to mind as you were there talking. I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. And I think that's the best song that sort of sums it up together. Now, as Christians, minister and yourself will agree with me that the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. And there is a teacher I had, a minister that visited us when we came to Antigua because of the COVID. Pastor Patrick Morrison. He was in our home, and I remembered he gave me a tip as a more mature parent when he was there. Now, he has a boy and 2 girls, and I have 2 boys, 2 girls. And he said to me, remember that one of these days you're not going to be around. No, just like what Pastor said to you in terms of let them speak up. It's so important not to just think of now, but also look forward in in terms of where we want our children to be. And even when we're training them, always think in terms of whatever we do, we really want years from now for them to be, to have fulfilled their purpose and to be the best that they can be. Now, each child is different. So we have to, just as you say, listen to them, study them, take time with them. Now, I already said, of course, we are the ones that brought them here. So the basic needs we have to supply. I heard my daughter, that's the first child, she's going to graduate this year. She said, oh, she's saving towards graduation. And when she said that, I looked back and I thought to myself, wait, that's my responsibility. And there she's taking that, in terms of she's also planning, she's listening to what they're saying, she's planning, she's budgeting. And I'm saying, children are different because you have some of them that will be savers like her, considerate, and you have, other good qualities in each and every one of our children. So how should we treat them? Definitely we need to love them and remember that they are the ones that are going to be the minister, the evangelist, the doctor, the lawyer, the teacher for the future. So the same kind of doctor, minister, evangelist that we want later, we have to help invest in them in terms of teaching. Okay? So definitely we have to love, we have to listen, we have to discipline, we have to correct. We can't just let them get away. We have to take time to laugh at them. We have to take time to reflect when we were their age, You have some of them that just ask so many questions, and you have some of them that just seem like that they're just meditating, and then some of the things that they say, just like Isaac, will teach us. But definitely, we have to yield not to temptation too, in terms of using them. No. You understand? No, we can teach them in terms of influencing in a positive way, and for sure, I want to say that, before I had children, because of how Pastor Johnson in Jamaica started helping with other relatives, one of the things he used to say to me is, catch your practice. It's so important when we catch in our practice. I realize with especially Crystal, that's his first niece, to see how we can sort of walk around in their shoes a little, because really and truly, one of the things I realized, in terms of watching, a little movie with her, she wants to be treated as your own. And I think that's the thing that she appreciated her uncle for. You understand? And I had to learn that in terms of just loving children totally as your own, which means the same way you're going to correct, the same way you're going to want all of them to excel and learn, you're going to need to have that patience with each of them as you get an opportunity to interact with them. And I'll never forget what I learned from her. I think it was from social studies, where the advantages of single parent to her seemed greater than those of being in what they call what do they call that family? The nuclear family. I remember at that stage when she was with us, and I said to myself, that great thing about the children who may be in the single parent home or whatever their circumstances, let them also learn the positives of it and value it. Yes, you are right, Minister. They will feel bad sometimes about, not being maybe in the household where the two parents are there, especially for a whole heap of their friends or others seem to be making it seem like a great thing. But they should appreciate also the positives of their situation, right? And we need to keep, as I say, teaching them what the Word of God says. As much as possible, live at peace with all men. So sometimes we have to go our separate ways. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree, even with them as children, but also realize in terms of in adulthood, conflict can be a good thing. So I want to say that, sometimes too, we have to realize too, with children, they have different personalities, but we are helping to mold them, and we need to be patient with them. So I'm going to 1 Corinthians 13 in terms of how love is. We need to speak honestly with them. Yes, they're smart. We need to realize we need to learn from them as well too. And definitely when the temptation comes to use them in terms of being spiteful, we need to make sure we say no to the devil. That is not of God, and that is not going to benefit our children, and it's not going to benefit us as parents, and it's definitely not going to benefit our society. Instead, we can actually do just as Minister said. We make sure, and is doing, we make sure we encourage them to keep praying for their parents, the leaders in the home, the guardians, because it could be a father, it could be a grandmother. We ensure we teach them respect. Very, very important. We just continue to teach them the right thing. And what is the best place? Where is the best place to find the right things? The Word of God. Yes, children live what they learn. So the same way we want to be forgiven, we have to actually forgive and show them that we genuinely forgive, even hurts we've had in terms of with other persons. Boy, Brother Journal, Minister Alfie, I tell you, there's just so much on this topic, but I just hope that I've said some vital things. And I'm sure if I missed anything, both of you will help.
There is a lot, and as you're speaking, my mind, is always going, because there's so many things to look at. There's so, like you said, children, they learn what they see, they learn what they hear, and parents, we are big teachers, not just in the things that we actually intentionally try to teach them, but even in our lifestyle. Now, there's something that I personally could not do. And there's certain, and there are people who they feel comfortable in doing it and they're fine with it, right? So there are parents who, for whatever reason, they could no longer be together. Take it any way anyone want to take it. It's been going on for years. It is currently happening, and it will still happen in the future. Whether we like it or not, it happens. It's a part of life. But there are also parents who it's like they're married. They are living in the same household, but they do not have a marriage, so to speak. Children are around, they don't see the love, they don't see the affection, they don't see the things that daddy would do to accommodate mommy. They don't see the things that mommy would do to accommodate daddy. They don't see that lovely family relation. You know what I mean? Because once again, children are very smart. And then it makes you think, is that more healthy than the separation? Like, what's your perspective on it? Because I believe that whatever they see, whatever they learn, if, say, for example, you're married, right? And you do not treat your husband well, right? And your children see that, but they see that both of you live that way and you feel okay to live that way, they're going to see that as the norm. And what they're going to get from that is that when they get married, they don't have to treat their husband well. And that's the norm. In their life, in their mind, that becomes the norm for them because that's what they see all the time. If daddy speak to mommy a certain way and treat mommy a certain way, and, say, for example, in relationship where either the man is abusing the woman physically or vice versa, children see that. And to them, well, they stay in it, so that must be the norm. How do you address that?
Well, I'll be honest with you. That is a challenge, okay? Because it's so important in terms of being a person in the community that's respected to try and help. Now, when I say that, I'm both a doctor and a pastor's wife. So we have to try and influence people in the church as well as other community groups, because there are some persons that they aren't coming to church, but thank God there are other persons that they can see and hear from that they respect. So, Minister, you're so right, because children are going to trust their parents more first. And you find that even with neglect and even abuse, sometimes when the children are so young and accustomed to it, they actually are willing to protect their parents. So thank God, now it's taught in school too, what is inappropriate. Okay, we also know that we try and pick up things in terms of a clinic. So we make sure persons are examined, just a little baseline. And in the church too, or even other community groups, and even in a community, we need to look out for how we can influence, okay? But you're so right. There's always hope. Now, in our churches, that's another reason too why we should pray. But not only pray, but also have the Holy Spirit, and in terms of discernment, and take time to look out for others in our community. Not only in the church, you find also in our loving communities, we should do that. So now, really and truly, those parents who are in that situation, it's very important to find a way to help them. Now, remember, there can be two ways where they can agree that this is not healthy for the child, and they can decide to go their separate ways, or they can agree it's not healthy for the child, but they can also learn how to improve. Now, behavior change also takes time, okay? But both are possible. Usually, that child is not necessarily the one going to be able to help bring about the change. The parents too have to be willing to accept what is really happening, because I'll be honest with you, sometimes the whole grieving process, some people get stuck in the denial part of it, and they may put on even I don't care, and they may not even be able to see for a while how it's affecting the children. So you see, that's why we in society as a whole, we have an important role. And the church doesn't only have a role in terms of praying, or even counselors or doctors don't only have a role in terms of only when people come into their offices or their community groups, but even in terms of our neighborhood. And then also trying to make sure we also address it the best way possible, because you have different persons and also things can appear a certain way. But how do we make sure what the situation is? For example, let's just say something seems to be that way. We need to have a conversation. When we're having a conversation, read some body language, but we need to really listen to the persons. Okay, so we sometimes will be able to have conversations with the children, but we also need to see as adults how we can have conversation even with the parents. Okay, so that we get an effect is so important. And you know, that's why I always say the Bible is the best guide to make sure we're careful not to judge, to love, and to really try and find the best solution for each specific situation. So that when in counseling, at the end, even the parents themselves and the children will realize the best solution has actually occurred. I hope that's helpful. Sometimes in a doctor with you, people come in and they want to talk. You understand? We need to have that time to listen. And if we don't have that time to listen, we need to take the time to refer as necessary. There are a variety of resources in our community. We also need to utilize them and realize is important, but also even opportunities like this, hot topics. This is some of the ways that some people receive their counseling. They may not want that talk or that preaching, but even after this, we have to trust God to do the soul searching and the change that's necessary.
It is so good listening to you talking down the line where Sister Minister Gordon asked the question, because that's where parents gone wrong sometime and don't even see it. Yeah, two persons in a home, and the husband had treat the wife below ground zero, wife had treat the husband below ground zero, and feel to say because we're giving the children food and a place to sleep and sending them to school, we are preparing them to be decent citizens of society, not knowing that the way we treat each other, I said them are going to come and treat for them family. You see what I'm saying? And even where me, Rochelle, and Isaac is concerned, I try my utmost best. Don't care how me mad at Rochelle, don't care how me mad at the world. I try my best for Isaac to see me being a man, treating her the way she's supposed to be treated, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? I am not going to allow him to see me for the other day, birthday. He and I went and we got the cake. Yeah? I make him know how important it is. No matter what me and I have, it's just reality. Yeah? And according to what Minister Garden saying, is a reality in plenty home, many homes. I am a living witness that these things is real. Yeah? An next part of it too is this thing that go on. I know it happened for a while after a newly parent just gone in parenthood, where you neglect everybody around you because you're all in the glory of your newborn child and all of these things. But after a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you just neglect your wife, you just neglect your husband, and all your attention is with your child. You shop for your child don't see you picking up nothing for nobody else in the house, right? It's just the child is zooming in on, right? That's one of the worst ways to spoil your child, because you're basically teaching the child that they are takers, right? You're basically teaching the child that you alone is the star in the house. So you find little from now, that child going to get real blows because that child is going to only listen to the parents that giving them everything they need, and then also the parents showing that same sort of love, because children detect love and respect. They're very good at it. They're better than it than some adults at it. Trust me. Them little minds can detect love and respect more than some adults can. Yeah? And that's why they try to manipulate us, right? I try to keep a balance. I don't make Isaac see me walking through the house just think that is me alone inside here. His mother here as well. And parents who go about doing this, they just put a demon in the child's life that this child will have to fight as an adult. Because you see, my mommy, when I born, my mommy never business with daddy. My daddy never business with mommy. So now when I get a child, when I got business with nobody, and it's just a curse you evoke in a child's life that was just so innocent. When it take you to work out your differences, even if you hate the woman or hate the man, a child is in the midst. Yeah? You're buying a shirt for the child every month, and you don't say, buy a shirt for the child, and that is so the child see you presenting that your shirt. You buy dresses and skirts and blouse for your daughter every time you go shopping, and they don't see you picking up something for mommy. Right? They're looking at it. They might not say it to you. They're looking at it, and you're training them. And it will only kick in when they have their firstborn. It's not going to kick in before. So you find that they enter into marriage, enter into relationship, because that demon is not going to kick in until you have your firstborn child. Once you get pregnant and that child has been pushed out, then that demon going to come up. And then all of a sudden, a good thing gone wrong. Yeah? It's a reality in many families. Minister Garden, it's a demon from the lowest pit of hell that rise up in families. And I personally decide that that is one demon that must get killed in my life, right? I am not. If I could go back in the past, my other children, oh my God, they would be so different. Yeah? That song that you use, Sister Johnson, I think we brought up that song last night. I believe the children, last week, I believe the children are our future. Somewhere I was talking about children on a forum like this, and we were using that song, right? Especially when she reached a verse, everybody's searching for a hero. Everybody's just in the hero. You saying, but nobody never business with him when he must suck breast. Nobody never business with him when he walk up in and tear up salsa pants, underpants, and kick football. But because he's an hero, they saw him winning a race. One race they saw him win. And then he started to win many others. They just see him as an hero. But who's spending the time to nurture the hero? Because heroes are born. They don't just evolve. Yeah, you have to bred them into becoming heroes. And that is why you have some people with countless education and they come to nothing. And then you have somebody on the other side that don't have no education and they come to something, some great achievement. We have to bred them from young, right? And mommy and daddy doing more damage than good when they treat each other with neglect and say it's because of the child. Yeah? My big daughter used to have a problem with Esther growing up. And it's when she was about 13, she tell me. She said, Daddy, I hated Esther. And I said, why you hate Esther? She said, I didn't want you and mommy to have the other children. I just wanted to be the only child. And then when Esther born and Esther start get all the attention, I get neglect. Sometimes I feel like I wanted to put a pillow over her head. And it is when I said to her, it's not that Esther get more attention. It's just that you are at a more mature place, right? And you are not going to recall that what we're doing to Esther is what we used to do to you. We spend more time explaining to Esther because she's younger. We spend more time looking out for her because she don't know the danger that you know. We spend more time guiding her because we already guide you. You reach the place now where you can manage to guide yourself, right? She can't. That is why when you were drinking out a cup, she was still drinking from bottles. We couldn't trust her to give her the cup because she couldn't manage the cup. Our sense not kicking in to tell her that danger lies in the cup. But you already know that if you're not careful with the cup, what's in the cup going to wet you up or burn you up. It was then she understood. And 1 year later, Esther came to me with tears. Esther, what's wrong with you? Daddy Kitanya sit down and tell me how she didn't hate me and want to kill me. I know me understand why she used to do me the things that she used to do me. But she said that she understand because Daddy made her to understand. Sometimes we have to explain to them. And sometimes some of these parents go through the same thing and then come and bring them children through it too. When you're going to kill that duppy, Minister Gardner, I know you have something boiling.
I think that every firstborn, they go through that because, and that's why I'm laughing because mine, they went through the same thing. They went through the same thing. But then, just like you said, you explain, I had to do the same explaining process. And then I go, you know what? Right now, you got the opportunity to be a big sister. You always be a big sister. You know, you'll be able to look out for your baby sister and stuff like that. You know, but it's all because it's almost as if the first one, there are trials and errors. So you're making sure, you want to make sure that everything is like, you're overprotective, you're this, like everything, and then with the next one, it's like, oh, okay. You know, it happens. They all go through that. They all go through that, and that's why I was laughing about it. I have something to say, but I'm just gonna take some feedback from the audience before I go further. Minister Phillips said damage control is critical and long in divorce and or separation. She said, if I knew what I know now, I would have seek out counseling, a safe place for the children to express their own feelings and to manage their emotions carefully. Marcia said, I'm in a situation right now with my daughter's father. I don't talk to her 3 years this year, and she's going on to it's going on to 4 because of his own reason. I'm not talking to him, so I can't get my daughter to talk to. Right, so you can see where some spiting or stuff like that is going on. Not talking to the dad, so can't talk to the children.
I,
Lisa said, while dealing with children, we adults should not show any signs of anger. Um, Pastor Redeem, I know you want to say something, but just a couple more. Minister Phillips said that parent also needs help to manage their own emotion. Yes. Pastor Cedric Brown is here with us, and he's saying blessings and big up to all Jumpstart family. Mr. Redeem to the world. Yes, yes, yes. Minister Phillips said sometimes parents allow their children to get away with stuff because they feel guilty. Yes, all those need to be addressed. Sister Kayan is here with us. She's saying good night, everyone. And so also is Sister Lovelet. So do you want to address especially Sister Marsha's? Minister Phillips made a valid point, basically like what you were saying too. She's saying if she knew then what she know now, this is how she would do it. She would have seek for counseling. And I also think that the children's age, it matters a lot. My older one, she was 2.5, almost 3. Well, near closer to 3 because she had celebrated her third birthday like after the move. And the other one, like I alluded to the fact earlier, that she was a baby. So basically, they didn't really know much at the time. And I think for me, I was saying where they didn't know much, it would have been easier for them to deal with it than if it's a case that we decide, oh, we're gonna just put up with each other for the children's sake. And then you realize you're still living together for years with the same problem that's not going away. And then all of a sudden, children, they finish elementary school, they finish high school, and boom, oh, we're not going to be together anymore. I think the impact there is greater because they've spent all that time with you together and stuff like that. You know, but that's, I could be wrong. That's just my personal opinion. My children, yes, they feel hurt because growing up now they see like the family dynamics, right? But it's not the kind of hurt to say I was so attached and now that I have to detach, it's like such a painful process, right? So the counseling, as Minister Phillips talk about, and a safe place for them to deal with their feelings and stuff like that, then it's telling me that her children, they were a little bit, at least a little bit older than mine, right? So how do you address that? And also what Sister Marsha is going through, because it's 3 to 4 years now. And because she doesn't talk to him, then the child in return is feeling the hurt of not being able to connect with the mother.
No, no. To what Minister Mary is saying, I am a divorcee, yeah. And when I detached, my eldest daughter was going on 2, yeah. Now the problem with parents, and Sister Marcia ties into this as well. The problem with parents, they feel like they have all right to their children and not the other party. By law, it is not so. Sister Marcia, you can get that man in tons of trouble if you should take that to the law. I have a sister that I witnessed cry the other day, live in high water, cry. It was her daughter's 16th birthday, and she couldn't get to talk to her because the man wanted to have his own way. Yeah? Have not heard her daughter in a number of years. It tear my heart out. Because though they are probably in another strange land, law can reach them. Law can get to them. And if I did not know the law, when my ex run off with my 2 daughters and we found them, when I say I was going for custody, all my friends said, Jerry, you're going to lose because they don't give men daughters and fathers don't get custody. I walk away with custody. But what I did that I think helped my children a lot, because though they were hurt, they had a relief or comfort in the fact that they never hear daddy talk bad about mommy or worse about mommy and all of them stuff. Every time they ask me why me and mommy not together, I tell them when the appropriate age, when they get there, then they will know. But them not hear me. When it's time for them to go by their mother, me care them. Sometimes when them not need to go there, they just ask about their mother, and I realize they miss them, and I put them in the vehicle and I drove them down there. Yeah. And on the other side, she was telling them all kind of thing about them daddy. To the point where my children were so crying and begged and what, because she tell them, God tell her, say me I got dead, can you have AIDS? That licked them. They didn't want to go to school. Kitania wasn't performing in school or nothing. Yeah? And then they reach an age now where they start saying, Mommy, so how comes you alone saying these things about daddy? And daddy's just talking all kind of good things about you. Sister Marcia, what that father is doing.
It's Sister Marsha Pearson.
Sister Marsha Pearson. Okay.
Pearson, yes.
Okay.
And Minister Phillips also said the children, they were 8, 9, and 10.
Wow. Wow. You see, but as I was saying, what that father is doing, God help him when that child realizes they become an adult. God help him so. Because my ex did all that she did with my children. They want to talk to me and couldn't talk to me. Kitania was about 6 going on 7 when she took her mommy phone one time and in our bathroom I tried to explain to me where she was because she detected that her mother hiding them from me. And all she was saying on the phone, Daddy, you have to pass the airport and I want White House up on one hill. No. Me know it's not Kingston Airport because the White House not up on the hill out there. So me know it must be Montego Bay. Imagine every police in Jamaica and all me and my friends looking into every White House up on a hill opposite the airport. You know which part we find them? We're in Hanover, in our place called Hopewell. You know, far that the White House today. But the little child in our mind realized that mommy hiding me from daddy. So let me get a chance and tell daddy in my best way of giving him direction. I would have pulled apart every White House on a hill. Left hill, right hill. Couldn't find them. Until one day my brother was going to Negril. And when he reached Hopewell Corner, he saw her crossing the road with them. And then we notified the police. And then we went and get them. I passed my 2 children, I never know them. They were so under care. I am buying school shoes for other people's children and I send them nice to school. As Father Jerry and my child in a school with her shoes with 4 different color threads, sew it up, and all them sort of things. Now when I got them back, they still don't hear me talk not about their mother. Because I asked for patience so that when they reach the age that they could understand and reason it out. It's trauma when we try to make them figure it out before they can. Serious trauma. When them children reach adult and recognize that they can make their own decision, I beg me if I beg them to deal with their mother. Beg me if I beg them to forgive their mother. Because they said, Daddy, we heard so much things and we had believed it and we were upset with you and all of this, and then here's the truth in front of us. The truth will come out, Marsha. The truth will come out. And all the time you lost with your child, you're going to get that back because the child is going to make sure as an adult, she build that relationship with you. You know why? Because all the mistakes she see now is from daddy. All the right things she see now is from daddy. She's seen both worlds from daddy. The truth and the good thing about it, daddy can never be mommy. So there's a thirst for mommy side inside of her. There is a thirst to connect with mommy inside of her. And no matter where you take her to, no matter how much things you give her, that thirst is going to remain alive.
That's right.
Until that child come in contact with you. And everything that you lost is going to be given back to you where the child is concerned. Yeah? So he don't know what he's doing. And for Minister Mary Philip, I understand what you're saying. When you say if you knew then what you know now. But the truth is, your children survived it. They might survive it with some pain. They might survive it with some regret. But I guarantee you that them two girls and that one son, when him get it together, he going to get it good. When him decide to settle down with a family, he's going to have a balance that you're going to shock out of the world. You know why? Because him feel the pain of it. Likewise, balancing the joy, whether the joy real or fiction, they've been through it. So there is not more to go through. So they can educate their children on a different level. They can deal with their relationship, their marriage as father and mother on a different level, the way my children will never be able to deal with it. Because you know what? They don't know what it is. My girls don't know what it is to go to the bed, hearing what mommy's saying and hearing what daddy's saying, and have to deal with that trauma. So what we think was bad, we all wish we could go back in time. But the truth is, I believe that what keeps them surviving right now. We might feel the guilt. We might feel the hurt. We might have our regrets. But I believe that that was substance in them to keep them surviving. Now, look at your daughters. They're not run out with no 3 or 4 and 5 and 6 boyfriend. Look at your daughters. They not have no 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children. The 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 men. Yeah? So what you think would work against them is not working for them. And here we have the Reverend Dr. Philbert Johnson just walking in the room. And again, I'm going to allow Minister Garden to tell him what we're talking about and where we reach so we can get his input.
Happy New Year, Pastor Johnson. Great seeing you. Great seeing you. The mic is on mute.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So just to give you a quick briefing, what we're talking about, and time is far spent. It's 9 o'clock my time, so I know it's 10 o'clock your time. We're talking about, we're taking a closer look at parenting. And the question is asked, are children treated in the way that they should be treated? Or are they caught between parenting drama? Are they used to spite the other party? And even in chat, we see where children are indeed caught up in parenting drama. We see where children are being used to spite the other party. We see where all these things are happening, and they are for real. So welcome, sir.
And you can also tell him where we're at.
Yes.
Probably the scenario with Minister Phillips and Marsha.
Yes. No, well, there's a good many theories about children being caught in the middle. The truth is that, sometimes people just use one version. Because, as a pastor for 30 years, and also as a teacher, so I would have been interfacing with children, both as a parent, as a pastor, and as a teacher, so I get it in every way. Really, people have a way with the word that we use to generalize that some children are caught up into the fuss between parents, but not all children. There are a lot of children who are healthy children and in healthy families. I have grown 10 children, 6 nephews and nieces, and 4 of my own right now. We have sent them through university, and they have turned out very well, balancing their heads and so on, settled in life and everything, have done well in school and everything. Because what? Because we are trained. Because the truth is that you train people to rear dog and goat and cow, but we don't train people to rear children. Many people they have trial and error, right? So I'm only saying that a lot of parents have made a lot of mistakes, and if they want to do it all over again. But I said this and then I hand back to you. Where I was trained from Bible school, 86. So you're talking about 30 odd years ago. That one of the first rules to parenting is the two parents can't be saying 2 different things. And if you are angry or so, you don't take it on the children. But the truth is I was trained. And because I was trained before I had my family, because we started family quite late. Remember, sometimes teenagers are having children, You know, there was a 9-year-old girl, what a baby. What a 9-year-old going to teach the child. So we're saying there are all different kind of scenarios, but the truth is that it's really to train the parents. We talk about training children. You have to train the parents so they can train the children. And as I said earlier, there are a lot of parents who are having healthy families. There are a lot of people admire our family because I was taught before to spend time with them when I'm angry. Don't try to discipline them when I'm angry. And if my wife and I have an issue, we sort it among ourselves. You know, those are the different groups, are different scenarios.
Yes, and you basically confirmed some of the things that we were talking about. And where we had reached in the discussion is where Marcia, she's saying that she have a daughter, 3 years old, or 3 to 4 years now. She has not been able to talk to the child because of no communication with the father, right? So that's going on 3 to 4 years. She has not been able to speak with her child, right? And you can tell that in that scenario, the child is caught up in that drama. Minister Phillips is saying her children, they were the ages 8, 9, and 10 when she had to go through separation, divorce. And she's saying if she knew then what she know now, she would have been able to seek counseling and all that, you know, because it would be better able to help them. So as a counselor, what would you say to both of them?
Let's start with Marcia. That's a very good one you have raised tonight. There are a lot of let us start with our women and then our men. There are some couples that do that. I suppose it is wrong. If a man and a woman are having an issue, right, it is wrong to pull the child in the middle of it. You understand? And many times we do that too often. I remember there was this, she was so angry at the man. She said, Pastor, I don't even want the man name on the birth certificate. I said, but sweetheart, you can't change him being the father. You can't. The moment you have had him donate the sperm and so he means, Daddy, that is the reality. I'm only trying to say, sometimes we take some foolish decisions. The child's father is a child's father until Jesus comes. Nobody can change that. The child's mother is a child's mother until Jesus comes. Nobody can change that. So we're saying that that's the first thing. If my spouse and I are having an issue that have nothing to do with the child, so the father should play his role as father, and the mother should play her role as mother, and the mother should not stop the father from playing his role. They don't have to be in a relationship, but they must not use their thing to spite the child. You know, are trying to use the child to spite each other when it's really the child. So that's what I would say to Marcia, that the father needs to be allowed to play his role, and the mother should be allowed to play her. No matter how vexed you are, no matter how disappointed you are, the child's father, nobody can change that. The child's mother, nobody can change that. You know, and many times children grow up, and after a while they become real hurt by it, to know that they had a father who did not play any role in their lives. Sometimes we get away with it when they are small. But when they get older and everybody asking about their father, everybody asking about, they say, where's mine? I give you this and then back to you. They have this thing, you know, the sperm bank, and it will become a popular thing. Where there are some ladies who say they don't want no man in their life. They don't want the baby. And a lot of people across the world, in England and so I was watching I was listening to the BBC, where the sperm donors at the sperm bank, you can't, once you donate sperm to the sperm bank, your responsibility is finished. They're not supposed to trace the child to you because you have agreed to just give the sperm. Because the mother say she only wants sperm, she don't want the man. Right? And then what happened was that after a while, the BBC did a documentary on those children, the fatherless children. And after a while, as they start getting bigger and they hear everybody talking about daddy, daddy, daddy. They went to me and said, Mommy, wait. How come I know you're not about my daddy? And right now, this is a real thing. I tell you, the sperm bank donated sperm to these mothers and so on, right? You know, we talk about all kind of thing with surrogate mothers and all kind of new thing, man. It has caused a lot of problems. Because what? After the children realize, but I'm not normal, because everybody's talking about dear daddy, but I am not. I don't even hear about one daddy. So they start asking the questions. I'm saying, if we fool them with these things, later on, it's going to come back to bite us.
Yes, and that's true. Pastor Redeem made mention too about, you know, the mother can only be the mother and not the father. The father,
Simple.
not the mother. What I can say, I did not grow up with either of my parents. And for my mom, she was living in Kingston. And I know that, you know, there's certain time of the year that we're going to see her, you know, for holidays and stuff like that. Or she's going to drop in at some point, you know, when she get a day off and she can come and she can visit, because she was there trying to make a better life to help us. My dad, however, he was in England. First, he was in America, then he migrated to England. And I remember growing up, it was always my desire to see my dad because when he went, I was very young. So I didn't have a mental picture or anything like that of a father because, you know, he traveled when I was young. And his parents, I knew his parents when, you know, they were alive. I would go and I would spend holidays. They would talk about him. But I always wanted to meet him for myself. Excuse me. And what I realized is that it does not matter how old a child gets. I don't know so much about the guys, but I know because sometimes even on television program is usually in lots of instances is the girls that they always want to find their mom or they always want to find their dad. And it does not matter how old they get because they need a sense of closure. They need to know, is that person still alive? Do I look like that person? Do I have some of the attributes? And the list goes on. So when parents believe that they're doing any justice to keep a child from, whether it be from the father or from the mother, they are doing very, very, very wrong thing. Because as Pastor Redeem said, when that child get the opportunity to find out, then it's going to make it harder for them because the child is going to realize, you know what, injustice was done, and they're creating mess for for their own self. You know,
Definitely.
I mentioned before, time is already far spent. So, Pastor Redeem, do you want to go ahead with the closing remarks?
We definitely have to talk among ourselves to bring back this because we still yet have to deal with the other two legs of it, and I'm seeing where this topic is really helping a lot. So we definitely have to talk among ourselves to bring this back and bring it back early, right? Because the truth is, the world is at a place now, and if we don't save the next generation and saving them starting from the parenting, right? I have an opportunity. I thank God for it. This opportunity with Isaac, and I'm gonna hit the target, right? In closing, just want you to think about this. Yeah, Psalms 127. Except the Lord build a house, then who labor and build it in vain. Except the Lord watches the city, the watchman of the city watch in vain. Yeah. Now, if we to understand them two verses, especially verse 1, the house is not the wall. It's the family, the mother, the father, the child, the children. If God don't build that, the principles of God, yeah, the world is in chaos. Because if God don't build it, then it simply means God's enemy build it. And that is why we have so much problem in society, right? Because children don't stay children always. They become adults. And when they become adults, if they miss the training from a child, right? It's very rare they find it as adult. Me, in my case, thank God for Jesus. Yeah? But how many of us can say it like that? Yeah? Solomon went on to say children are like an arrow in the hands of a marksman. He went on to tell you that you beat the child and you do all of this to the child saying that is your pitney. Please, you're just a caretaker because they are the Lord's heritage. They are God's reward. So we have to be careful how we deal with them. Yeah? Remember, as a child, Jesus used in Matthew chapter 18, when one question asks, who is the greatest in the kingdom? Jesus said, don't worry about the greatest yet. You have to become as a child. And with this childlike attitude and all of this, then you will evolve into greatness. So I want to say to everyone out there, especially to Minister Mary, your daughters, if you should sit and talk with them, they will tell you it's on the grounds of your divorce. Why sometimes they're about to make some mistakes and just recall. Because you know what? They see the pain you went through. They see the pain that you went through. They see what it caused them not having mommy and daddy there. So they are making sure not to make that mistake. So this is one of the things that work together for the good. Where Marsha is concerned, just give it time. I know it hurt. I know you'd like to take up the phone and just call your child. But I guarantee you, if you're under the bottom of the sea when that child becomes adult, that child is going to find you. Because there's an empty void. There's a void in that child's life that need mommy to fill it. And that child is going to hunt you down. And when the child finds you, you will get everything that you thought you lost. Trust me. To those of you out there, we want you to take what we're saying and doing very serious. And if you're going down the wrong way as a parent, please catch your balance. Stop discuss mommy and daddy in a negative light for the child. You're possessing that child with the wrong demon. Yeah? They are the future of tomorrow. So that's all I'm saying for now. Watch your Facebook posting to see how soon we're bringing back this topic to deal with the other two lives.
Thank you. Go ahead, Pastor Johnson.
No, I was just saying, well said. You know, we want to end. I want to make my closing remark by saying that as parents, it's not fair to our children for us to saddle them with our own problems. You know, we must remember that. Because many times, you know, sometimes we beat up the children because we say, look too much like your papa. I look too much like your... No, don't do that. Deal with the papa and leave the children. You know, so we're saying that many times we take it out of the children, it's wrong. You know, allow them to live their own lives and enjoy themselves, and we fight our own battles. That's what we want to do. And let God help us, because God will always help us.
Amen. That's right. Well said, well said. And also, let us deal with our children as individuals, knowing that they have different personalities. They have different ways. They're their own little people inside, and it's our duty to, you know, help them to develop so that they can become the best person that, you know, God intend for them to be. I always say, not because I had a broken home does not mean my children are supposed to be a statistic where they're involved in negative behavior. But in spite of whatever happens, they can be the best person that they are supposed to be, just to continue to instill the right values in them, you know, and let them know, listen, it doesn't matter what happened. You will always have your mommy and you'll always have your daddy as long as God give us life, and try to deal with it in a mature way, that whenever they have to go see the father, hey, they get to see their father. Whenever they have to see their mother, hey, they go see their mother. Because I know single father as well, right? And they have the same experiences. But it's for us to remember the foremost thing is our children, and we need to treat them right so that they can become whether it be a better parent, whether it be a better pastor, whether it be a better doctor, whether it be a better evangelist, they can become based on the values that we have instilled in them at a very, very young age. Share this video, not for popularity statistic, but so that others, they will know. And they will know that, you know what, children, they are a heritage and they emulate what they see, and we want them to see, to hear the very best. Sister Marcia, just to encourage you, don't forget, social media can help you, right? Social media can help. Put a posting out there. Say your child's name. Say, "Mommy love you." Whenever you get a chance, and you can put something out there. Your mommy love you. I will never forget. And save them. So when the time comes, there is something to say. I was always thinking about you. Maybe I couldn't get to speak to you on the phone, but I was sending these messages all along. Just big shout out to Ethame Musgrave. Thank you for watching tonight. Sister Tish, thank you for being there. Sister Sue Richard, thank you for being there. And each and every one who have tuned in, who have been on the roster, we do appreciate you. I'm just scrolling. Daniela, I hope I'm saying the name right. Irish, thank you for being here. Evangelist Gordon, thank you for being here. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us tonight. Dion, Dee Dee, thank you for being here. Thank you for
The Pink Panther.
Nikisha Richards. Thank you for listening in tonight. Sister Dawn James, thank you for listening in tonight, and each and every one who have shared, put in their good night greetings and all that. We do appreciate you. So on behalf of Pastor Redeemed and the team, thank you once again for watching. Thank you for engaging, and thank you for helping to make this discussion a success. Anything else, sir?
No, man, just have a good night. God bless all of you. See you tomorrow morning for Jumpstart.
All right. God